I failed to transform into a dragon and ended up as just a little snake in the mortal world. Then during hibernation, some guy almost crushed me flat. I was furious and ready to bite him to death. But then I noticed it. This mortal was radiating some serious dragon energy. Back when I was training, I'd heard that mortal emperors carried dragon energy. Heaven protects them. Mess with their life and you'll face endless karma. I was originally a flood dragon, failed the ascension, got reborn as a snake. This second life was already Heaven's way of giving me one last shot. If I hurt this guy, Heaven definitely wasn't going to let me off. But waking me up from hibernation? That's not something I could just let slide. So I held back my venom. Fine, I won't kill him. But a couple bites, totally fair, right? Except his blood was surprisingly sweet, so I just went ahead and drank my fill. But after I finished, his breathing got noticeably weaker, and out of nowhere, thunder started rumbling across the sky. Pretty clear. If this guy died, Heaven was going to put it all on me. Panicking, I suddenly had a brilliant idea. I gathered all kinds of medicinal herbs and squeezed out the juice with my body to treat his wounds. Some of those thorny plants actually cut right through my scales. I was so mad, and so I started sipping a little of his blood every day to recover. That cycle went on for 3 days, but the guy kept getting worse. There was even a faint trace of death energy around him. Then a bolt of lightning cracked down from above, scared the life out of me. If that thing hit me, I'd be dust. In the end, I gritted my teeth and poured every last drop of my cultivation into him. If he lives, I'll take it back with interest. If he dies, well, at least I get a meal. Thinking that, I slowly drifted off to sleep. When Xiao Yunzheng opened his eyes, the first thing he saw was a white snake coiled on his chest. What the? Did I just wake up in a snake pit? He'd been hunted by men in black, fallen off a cliff, and fully expected to die. Yet here he was, alive. He looked at the white snake, seemingly asleep. Wait. Did a snake actually save me? No way. If a snake could save someone, it'd have to be some kind of spirit beast. Right then, I groggily opened my eyes and locked eyes with Xiao Yunzheng. He froze. I'd just woken up and I was hungry, eyeing his wrist. His whole body tensed up. He tried to move but couldn't budge at all. All he could do was watch helplessly as I sank my fangs into his wrist. A moment later, a flash of disbelief crossed his eyes. This snake is drinking my blood? He looked more carefully. Both wrists had the same bite marks, so the snake isn't venomous. And it had been drinking his blood this whole time. What are you staring at? It's just a little blood. Do you really have to keep looking at me like that? You're not venomous. I flicked my tongue twice, then shook it a few more times. This snake can actually understand me? How many days was I out? He blurted it out, then caught himself. Just because it understands me doesn't mean it can answer me. Watching him fumble over himself, I felt a flicker of amusement. I used my tail tip to draw a 5, then turned and headed out. Gotta get him some food, and after all, he's my food supply. Xiao Yunzheng just stared, dumbfounded. This snake is definitely a spirit beast. It was freezing outside, my wounds were killing me, and I had 0 cultivation left. I almost didn't go. But if he doesn't eat, there's nothing to drink, so I dragged myself out anyway. I crawled toward the wild fruit trees, planning to grab some to bring back for him. Then I'd drink my fill of blood to make up for it later. I climbed up, grabbed a few fruits, and picked up some herbs on the way back. Hearing a familiar hissing, Xiao Yunzheng looked toward the cave entrance. I was curled up, dragging myself along with great effort. My tiny tail was wrapped around a couple of wild fruits and some herbs, and the blood on my body had dried out. Something caught in his chest. He'd just seen something unmistakably human in a little snake. What shocked him even more, I curled up and held the fruit right to his lips. Then I used my body to mash up the herbs and pressed them onto his wounds. His eyes sharpened. No wonder the little snake had so many cuts and smelled so strongly of medicine. So that's what it was. Little snake, you're the one who saved me. I flicked my tongue and stared at him expectantly. Eat up already. Under my watchful gaze, Xiao Yunzheng took a bite of the fruit. His face immediately twisted. It was sour and bitter, with a biting chill to it too. But hey, in this weather, having food at all was already a win. He pushed through the sourness and kept chewing, bite after bite. 3 fruits down, he somehow felt even hungrier. I watched him finish. I let out a couple of hisses and showed my fangs. Xiao Yunzheng got it instantly. You want blood? I nodded. Before he could even say anything, I'd already sunk my teeth into his wrist. His blood was still too thin. I needed to get him eating more. I made a mental note to catch him some actual meat tomorrow. After finishing my share, I felt warm and drowsy all over, so under Xiao Yunzheng's blank stare, I slowly slid up to his chest and curled up for a nap. Is this snake seriously using my chest as a bed? 2 days later, Xiao Yunzheng was doing a lot better. He could even sit up a little. He just couldn't figure out why he was healing so fast. Before he could think it through, a hissing sound cut him off. At the cave entrance, I came dragging in a whole wild chicken. He quickly looked me over. No new wounds. He let out a small sigh of relief, but he had nothing on him. How am I even supposed to deal with this? He said helplessly. I can't eat it raw. Well, you can eat it. He knew snakes swallowed prey whole, except this chicken looked way too big for me. So the two of us just stared at the chicken, completely stumped. Xiao Yunzheng shook his head. Forget it. I'll just have some wild fruit. You better eat it. I spent 2 whole days guarding this thing. Xiao Yunzheng gave me a helpless look. Now that he could move, he hesitantly reached out his slender, fair-skinned hand and gently placed it on top of my head. The nerve of this guy, just casually patting a snake noble's head like that. But then again, he's my food supply. I shifted my head and gently nuzzled into his palm. Xiao Yunzheng's heart softened just a little. If only I had a knife. It's raw, can't eat it. A blade? I blinked. I actually knew where there was one, but I wasn't sure. What if he used it on me? I'd seen plenty of ungrateful humans before. The second they get a weapon, they turn. I saved him, sure. But I also drank his blood. Would he think I was a monster and try to kill me? I slowly crawled back onto his chest and coiled up. I wasn't about to gamble on human nature. Last life, I trusted a human. And at the most critical moment of my dragon ascension, that person rallied a whole crew of cultivators to take me down. I had no choice but to detonate my demon core and take them all out with me. This life, I want nothing to do with humans. If his blood wasn't so useful to me, he'd already be a pile of bones. Watching Xiao Yunjing slowly get back on his feet, I decided, he handles the food, I'll handle directions and blood drinking. But that evening, Xiao Yunjing came back reeking of blood, his own, mixed with someone else's. I caught it the second he stepped inside. I shot straight up, eyes locked on him. He was holding a sword, walking toward me step by step, like death itself. Called it. The second he gets a sword, he turns on me. I reared up, fangs out, venom ready. Then suddenly, Xiao Yunjing dropped the sword. He stumbled forward, voice low and rough but strangely warm. "Little snake, are you scared?" I was confused. What's going on? Not until he got closer did I see he was holding a cleaned, prepped wild chicken. He reached out to pet my head, but I dodged away. He looked at his blood-covered hands and gave a tired smile. "Yeah, this is kinda gross." He set down the chicken and headed outside. A little while later, Xiao Yunjing came back. Carrying an armful of firewood, he walked over and sat beside me, and I watched him start a fire like it was second nature.